When someone who has never seen a plane in his life is asked to make a plane model, I would imagine that this would be the result. With that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a Douglas DC-10-40 of Japan Airlines. At the front of the box we have a lovely image of the aircraft in real life, and above that we have the Japan Airlines branding. Then on the back side of the box we have the same image once more. We are provided with the original dimensions and we get a little bit of additional information. So that's it for the box. Let's take a closer look inside and at the aircraft model itself. And here is the Douglas DC-10-40 in the former standard livery of Japan Airlines. The livery we see here was in use with Japan Airlines between 2002 and 2011, and the aircraft model from Herpa Wings was made in 2003. Now with that, let's start our tour around the aircraft model to see what it actually has to offer. And as always, we start off with the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the Japan Airlines color scheme. That's basically the Japanese sun, and the metallic stripe is supposed to represent a samurai sword. And the horizontal stabilizer has also received a little bit of detailing, although I'm not happy about how the horizontal stabilizer has been mounted, as it's just one solid piece that has been slotted into the back of the fuselage. That does look much nicer in more recent releases. On the fuselage we then have the full registration code of the aircraft and the aircraft type specification, and we can also see that JAL is supporting UNICEF. At the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we then have the writing of Japan Airlines, and we find the JAL branding. Next to that we have a little red mark, however I wasn't quite able to figure out what that was about. If you know, then let me know in the comment section below. And above the cabin door we have the Japanese flag. Moving on to the cockpit section, well, we have the cockpit windows, and that's all we get for printed details. But I mean, that's not the worst part, because just look at the shape of the mold. I mean, yes, the model is from 2003, but just look at the shape. I mean, how blind were people at Herpa when they designed this thing? And I mean, it doesn't even closely resemble what a DC-10 looks like. So, I mean, this is perhaps the most ugly thing I've ever seen. But let's move on before I laugh too much, and let's take a look at the engines, or more specifically the engine nacelles. They have been kept in all white, just as most of the fuselage, but do have the silver leading edge printed on. The physical detailing itself, well, it could be better, but it is quite alright for an aircraft model of that age. Also, the engine at the back of the aircraft has been kept in white as the fuselage and has the silver leading edge. However, when we look into the engine from the front, we should be able to see the engine fan blades, and this is something Herpa clearly forgot. The backside of the engine, however, I think actually looks rather nice. Then we can take a look at the wings, because they do actually also offer some nice detailing. Here at the top side we can see the different flaps, slats and spoilers have been carved out, although they could be a little bit more pronounced, but we do have some different shades of grey for additional detailing. The full registration code of the aircraft and the Japanese sun. The underside of the wings I think looks pretty alright. Here we again find the full registration code of the aircraft. Then we can take a quick look also at the landing gear, and here I actually must say that I think Herpa has done a very good job. I think this looks very, very nice. The only thing I'm missing is some printed details at the front end gear, but of course even today that is not a standard with Herpa Wings. Surprisingly, however, on this model we do find a hole in the fuselage for a stand, which I don't really know if it should have been included. Obviously I bought this model second hand, so I have no idea if this would have been included at the time. However, the fact that we do have a hole in the fuselage is extremely unusual for Herpa Wings model from 2003. Not unusual, however, is the fact that last but not least we are also taking a look at the doors to the cargo compartments, which have been included here at the back of the aircraft and also here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Douglas DC-10-40 in a former standard livery of JAL from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Well, I mean, yes, I know I had my fun at the review with the mold, because, I mean, oh my god, how ugly is that? And of course, it is from 2003, so it's normal for Herpa at the time. Older molds weren't that great, but I think the DC-10 mold I mean, that's just the cherry on the icing. I mean, the rest of the model is actually not that bad. I mean, the landing gear actually is really good. And the print quality itself is also excellent, although of course it is missing a lot of details. Personally, the only reason why I bought this aircraft model was because I could use it in my upcoming third season of Cardiff, and because I really do like the jar livery that was used between 2002 and 2011. But obviously, since Herpa is making a lot of new DC-10 models, why not recreate this one? This would actually make a great new model from Herpa Wings. But are there alternatives to this one at the moment? Well, kind of. In 2008, Hogan actually made a model of this aircraft. However, then it was in delivery of Japan Airlines. And then apparently in 2009 or 2010, a company called F-Toys has apparently also made a model of it. However, I have no knowledge about this model, so I don't know how that looks. Ultimately, if you ask me if I would recommend this aircraft model for one's collection, I would say no, unless you are a hardcore Japan Airlines fan. With that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.